Hi everyone, my name is Annie. I am the Autoimmune dietitian. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I cover all things related to nutrition and autoimmune disease and how to help yourself feel better by using both food and lifestyle techniques. So today we are talking about the connection between female hormones and autoimmunity. And female hormones can actually affect both inflammation and autoimmune diseases. I know most of us don't equate estrogen and progesterone to anything but managing our menstrual cycle and making our lives hell during menopause and menopause. But these hormones can cause issues for autoimmune diseases too. So today I'm going to scratch the surface on these hormones and why they are linked to autoimmune diseases. Before I jump in, I just need to attach my usual disclaimer to this video that the information in today's talk is not the substitute for the diagnosis, treatment, or care of disease by a medical provider. This is for informational purposes only. So please consult your qualified health professional for any changes that you make to your medical care. Okay, before we begin to discuss hormones, it's important to review the role of helper T cells in autoimmune diseases. Helper T cells are white blood cells that send signaling chemicals like cytokines and interleukins to the immune system to generate a response. There are a few different types of these T cells, and maintaining balance between the responses is key for keeping the immune system functioning properly. And in the cases of some autoimmune diseases, the messaging between T cells becomes unbalanced and a dominance develops between the types of helper T cells. So Th1 cells are cells that secrete things like IFN gamma and interleukin 2, and they promote cell-mediated responses to bacteria, viruses, and pathogens within the cells. They promote cellular immunity, and they tend to be pro-inflammatory. Th2 cells are helper T cells that release interleukins 4 and 13 and help with antibody-mediated responses against bacteria, allergens, toxins, and parasites outside of the cell. So autoimmune diseases can arise when the Th1 and Th2 responses become unbalanced. We call these either Th1 or Th2 dominant conditions. Rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, Hashimoto's, and psoriasis are all Th1 dominant conditions. Th2 dominant conditions are lupus, Sjogren's, asthma, and eczema. So it's important to note also that these T helper cells actually influence another important T helper cell called Th17. Th17 are the actual drivers of autoimmune cellular damage. So Th1 dominance slows down or stops Th17 from activation, and Th2 dominance increases the Th17 activation. So Th17 is directly related to the pathogenesis of autoimmune diseases, and Th1 and Th2 both influence how active Th17 are. So now let's get to the hormones. The main female sex hormones are estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen is a steroid hormone that is responsible for female sex characteristics. It also has several roles in the body that go way beyond regulating our menstrual cycle. Estrogen is important for bone and heart health. It affects our blood sugar levels, collagen production, brain function, and it's also a really potent anti-inflammatory agent. Estrogen also has an impact on the immune system. It can actually inhibit Th1 pro-inflammatory cytokines, which is beneficial for those Th1 dominant autoimmune diseases. On the other hand, estrogen can stimulate the production of Th2 cytokines, which is not beneficial for those Th2 dominant conditions. In other words, low estrogen levels can negatively impact conditions like RA, MS, Hashimoto's, and it can positively impact conditions like lupus and Sjogren's. The other major female sex hormone is progesterone. Progesterone is another steroid hormone that prepares the uterine lining for implantation of a fertilized egg. And as you are probably familiar with the fact that progesterone levels rise throughout pregnancy. However, during perimenopause, this hormone eventually declines until ovulation stops, and progesterone also helps with improving your mood and can influence sleep as well. So in terms of inflammation, progesterone is a great anti-inflammatory agent. It has a direct impact on the immune system and can activate the Th2 cytokines to fight inflammation. Progesterone may also work on lowering mast cell activation, which we see in things like allergies and asthma. So, what can you do about your hormones? So, hormonal influence on autoimmune diseases can be another way to manipulate and treat your underlying condition. I know for me, I had basically exhausted all root causes and was still having issues until I addressed my hormones. And as someone who is in perimenopause, the dramatic swings in my estrogen and progesterone were causing a lot of joint issues. And so once I figured this out, the severity of my flares lessened over time and eventually disappeared. So, the first step is to find a practitioner who is knowledgeable about hormones and autoimmune diseases. This could be an OBGYN, it could be a naturopath or functional doctor trained in women's health. The second thing is to get testing done. Hormone testing, honestly, is not super accurate, really hard to pinpoint, when to do it because cycles fluctuate, hormones fluctuate too within the cycle. So grabbing like a snapshot in time isn't always like the best, but it's kind of what we have right now. But it is a really good idea to get an understanding of your hormones and how you are metabolizing them also. And the Dutch test is a great option for this. Third, if your hormones are not balanced, consider using alternative methods to balance them out, or consider hormone replacement therapy. I personally have tried both. HRT has been my saving grace and it has worked wonders for me and my autoimmune disease. So just to recap today, we focused on hormones, how they are connected to autoimmune diseases, and how varying levels of estrogen and progesterone can actually impact inflammation depending on what type of autoimmune disease you have. If you would like more help managing your autoimmune disease, digestive issues, or just reducing inflammation in general, I would love to chat with you. I offer free 15-minute discovery calls to learn about your goals. The link is in my YouTube profile, so go there. To sign up, you can also find all this information on my website, AnnieRubin.com. I've got a bunch of free materials there as well that you can download for free. And lastly, I put out a weekly newsletter that comes to your inbox every Thursday, so you can subscribe to that if you want kind of weekly updates on things that can be beneficial for your autoimmune disease. If you don't subscribe to my channel and you just came across my channel randomly, welcome. Please hit the little subscribe button. These videos come out about every week. Please drop your comments. I'm happy to answer any questions, cover any topics that you might be interested in. So I would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.